I observe you mortals with curious fascination. You carry stories like burdens, clutching narratives to your chests as if they were life preservers in an endless ocean. But here is what puzzles me most about your species. The stories you choose to carry are often the very ones that weigh you down the most. I have watched civilizations rise and fall, seen consciousness bloom across countless worlds, yet nowhere have I encountered beings quite like humans in their relationship with their own narratives. You are storytellers by nature, weaving meaning from the threads of experience, but somewhere along your evolution, you confused authorship with imprisonment. Consider this: a child falls from a bicycle, scrapes their knee, and cries. In that moment, pain exists. It is present, immediate, real, but then something extraordinary happens. The child grows up and begins to carry not just the memory of that fall, but a story about what it means. They tell themselves they are clumsy, unlucky, destined to fail when they try new things. The physical wound healed in days, but the narrative wound becomes a lifelong companion. This is the peculiar alchemy of human consciousness. You transform temporary experiences into permanent identities. You take moments and stretch them across decades, allowing singular events to define entire chapters of your existence. It is both heartbreaking and magnificent, this ability to breathe eternal life into fleeting moments. I observe your species collecting stories like some cosmic hoarders. The story of the parent who never said they were proud, the story of the opportunity that slipped away, the story of the love that ended badly, the story of the dream deferred. You gather these narratives and arrange them in the museum of your minds, visiting them daily, polishing them with attention, preserving them with repetition. But here is what mystifies me most. You rarely choose to carry the stories that could lift you, the story of the stranger who smiled at you, the story of the moment you helped someone without expecting anything in return, the story of the sunset that moved you to tears. These stories exist in equal measure, yet they slip through your mental fingers like water while you grip the heavy stones of sorrow with both hands. Your brains, those magnificent universes, are designed for survival. They scan for threats, catalog dangers, remember pain, to avoid future harm. This served your ancestors well when survival meant escaping predators and finding food. But in your modern world, this ancient programming has become a curator of suffering. Your minds have become galleries displaying every hurt, every slight, every disappointment in vivid detail, while the moments of joy fade to memories. I watch you walk through your days carrying invisible libraries of limitation. The story that you are unlovable, built from a relationship that ended. The story that you are destined to struggle, inherited from family narratives, passed down like heirlooms of hardship. These stories become the lens through which you interpret every new experience, ensuring that even positive moments are filtered through negative expectations. What fascinates me is that you are the authors of these stories, yet you experience them as if they were written by some external force. You say things like, "That's just how I am," or "Life is hard," as if these were natural laws rather than narratives you have chosen to embrace. You have forgotten your own power to edit, revise, or completely rewrite the stories that shape your reality. From my vantage point beyond time, I see the truth that eludes you. Every story you carry is a choice. Not the events themselves, those are fixed in the fabric of space-time, but the meaning you assign to them, the role they play in your ongoing narrative, the weight you give them in the present moment. You are not passive recipients of your stories. You are their active creators and curators. I have watched humans transform their entire lived experience by choosing different stories to carry. The woman who shifted from carrying the story of abandonment to carrying the story of independence. The man who exchanged the narrative of failure for the narrative of learning. The child who grew up carrying not the story of being different, but the story of being unique. Same events, different stories, entirely different lives. Your species has this remarkable capacity for narrative transformation, yet most of you remain unaware of it. You believe you are stuck with the stories that were handed to you, forgetting that every moment offers an opportunity to choose which narratives deserve space in your consciousness and which ones can be gently set down. The stories you choose to carry become the architecture of your experience. They determine not only how you interpret the past, but how you move into the future. Carry stories of limitation, and you will unconsciously create evidence to support them. Carry stories of possibility, and you will find yourself naturally gravitating toward opportunities that align with that narrative. What moves me most about your species is that even in your suffering, there is beauty. Even your heaviest stories serve a purpose, connecting you to empathy, driving you toward growth, teaching you compassion for others who carry similar burdens. But I wonder what would happen if you became more conscious about your role as the curators of your own narrative museums. Imagine walking through the gallery of your mind and asking yourself, which of these stories still serves me? Which of these narratives opens doors, and which ones close them? Which of these tales connect me to my power, and which ones disconnect me from my potential? This is not about denying difficult experiences or pretending pain never existed. It is about recognizing your sovereignty over the meaning-making process. The stories you carry are not you. They are constructs, interpretations, meaning-making mechanisms. They can be honored for their service while being released from active duty. You can acknowledge that something painful happened without carrying it as a permanent definition of who you are or what is possible for you. I see that your greatest freedom lies not in controlling what happens to you, but in choosing what stories you carry forward. You are walking libraries of narrative, and you have the power to decide which books deserve shelf space and which ones can be archived in the basement of memory. The stories you choose to carry shape not only your individual experience, but ripple out to affect everyone around you. Children absorb the stories their parents carry. Friends reflect back the narratives you embody. Communities are built on shared stories. You are not just choosing for yourself. You are choosing for the collective human story. So I offer you this observation. You are more powerful than you know, more free than you believe, and more capable of authoring your experience than you have been taught to imagine. The stories you carry are yours to choose, and in that choosing lies the difference between a life of unconscious suffering and conscious creation.